Yeah, and the transcription is coming up on the side.
Yes, I see the recording is on.
Uh-huh. Okay, I'll try and leave the room for a minute, then rejoin.
Okay.
Perfect.
Spotlight my guests.
Seguimos bailando, sí, y tú me sigues gustando.
Por la 141, sabes que si es por ti me mudo. Me da con mencionar tu nombre, te pienso cada vez que fumo. Yo no me olvido de tu pelo, ni de tu piel cuando la ruño. Lo hacíamos hasta en el carro, escuchando a Paulina Rubia, una nana. Yo te quiero cerca, salió a bailar, le hicieron la oferta, no la distraigan. Si está de fiesta, ella en la pista se manifiesta. Si tú ya sabes cómo me pongo cuando te veo, pa' que me tienta. Ella motiva a seguir loceando, quiero ser mío antes de los 30.
Ay, oh, na, 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 say, oh, na, 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 say, oh, na, 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 na. Y lo seguimos bailando así, y lo seguimos bailando así, y tú me sigues gustando, sí. Quiero lo que quieres y tú quieres lo que quiero. Es que yo te quiero ahora, papi, yo te necesito. Quédate cerquita como enero de febrero. Yo te quiero pegadito, dale, bésame bonito. Y lo seguimos bailando, sí. Y lo seguimos bailando, sí. Y tú me sigues gustando, sí. Y lo seguimos
La música es un
bailando.
lenguaje universal, usando la lengua te quiero besar. De cero contigo quiero comenzar, contigo me voy de vacaciones mensual. Recuerdo la vez que te conocí, fue en un verano en Nueva York. Dudo mucho que en este mundo encuentre a otro como yo. Creo que no hay, se fue sin decir bye. Y yo en Washington High, siempre te veo online. Tú sabes que si yo te tuviera, te lo haría all night. Si alguno se propasa contigo, ese la va a pasar mal.
Ay, oh, na, 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 na. Y lo seguimos bailando, sí. Y lo seguimos bailando, sí. Y tú me sigues gustando, sí.
Mike Towers, baby.
If you want, you can stay. If you want it, if you want it, you can take my breath away. So take my breath away. I close my eyes, I feel the space. If you want it, if you want it, we can set my feet away. Just set my feet away. Can you tell me why you keep turning my life? You better not come make me cry. Please just tell me why. Can you tell me why you keep turning my life? You better not come make me cry. Please just tell me why. Can you tell me? If you want, you can stay. If you want it, if you want it, you can take my breath away. So take my breath away. I close my eyes, I feel the space. If you want it, if you want it, you can set my feet away. Just set my feet away. Can you tell me why you keep turning my life? You better not come make me cry. Please just tell me why. Can you tell me Please just tell me why. Can you tell me?
Hi everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning. Depending with where you're joining us from. My name is Patricia Mativo, and I am the host of this info session today. With us here today, we have three amazing speakers. We have Michael Oluwasola, we have Sylvia Dalama, and we have Kayode Rahim, whom I actually thought I had spotlighted, but I will sort that out. It's a pleasure hosting this info session. Well, I'm really hoping that it's going to be beneficial to most of us who are aiming to get into funded master's programs. And there are so many, but this is just one of them. And I believe with our speakers who are actually beneficiaries of the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship, abbreviated as KEX. But my panelists will be able to tell me more about it because I only know that it's for certain parts of the region in Africa, but getting to listen from people who are actually benefiting from it or who have been there before would be one of the ways that we're going to learn from this info session. So I'm just gonna throw it straight to my panelist. I could start with Rahim. And if I could have my panelists have the cameras on so that I feel like we are interacting, I'll really appreciate. Sylvia, if you're up for it, but if you're not able to, that's also understandable. Well, there you are. Thank you so much. So could we start with Rahim? You could briefly introduce yourself, then you can push it over to Michael. Then Michael, you can push it over to Sylvia, then I'll come back and continue with the questions of this info session. So over to you, Rahim.
Okay, so can everyone hear me clearly?
Yes,
all right, perfect.
yes.
Okay, so my name is Kayode Rahim. So I have my master's in bioinformatics from Comsat University. So currently I'm doing my PhD as well in bioinformatics and system biology. So my major research area focus on the machine learning and deep learning, utilizing spatial transcriptomics aspects. So I was one of the recipients of Commonwealth in year 2022. Yeah, I think. Okay, that's all.
Okay. Thank you, Rahim. So Mike, over to you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Oglashola. I'm currently doing my master's in bioinformatics and system biology at the University of Putra, Malaysia. About rounding up, I'm one of the recipients of Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship 2023. Yeah. Okay. About my research, I'm currently doing my research in same thing, almost like Ryan, in deep learning and artificial intelligence, just for bachelor screenings and stuff. Thank you.
Thank you. About you, Sylvia?
All right. My name is Sylvia Ndalama. I'm currently pursuing an MPhil in construction management at Kenya State, Ghana. I'm from Malawi. I was awarded the scholarship in 2023. Yeah, that's all about me.
Thank you so much. I just want to get to know if our guests can hear our speakers, or should they be audible enough? I mean, you can respond using emojis, but so far I think I can hear the three of you so well.
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Edna. So from the looks of it, Rahim, you've just you've completed your program with KEX, and now you're doing your PhD. Then we have our current scholars, Michael and Sylvia. Well, so I'll probably throw this to Sylvia right now. Could you just give us an introduction of what the KEX program is about and any key things that differentiates it from other programs such as the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship and the Commonwealth Scholarship in particular?
All right. So the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship is a scholarship that is awarded to be studied in low or middle income Commonwealth countries. So it's different from the other Commonwealth scholarships because the others usually apply to go to UK, you apply to UK universities. But this one is specifically for low to medium income countries. So basically, you are offered either a 1 year or a 2 year master's program, which is in a country that is not where you are from. So if you are from Malawi, you cannot apply to study in a university from Malawi. You have to apply to another university in another country, in another Commonwealth country. The whole idea is to encourage like cultural exchange. They want you to experience something different from your country. You have to go to another country to understand how they do their own things, and then you have to, so that you can be able to learn something different and apply it back when you are done with the scholarship. So that's all.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. Rahim, so Sylvia's just mentioned that it's basically for low income, middle income, the LMIC countries. And I just wanted to understand that if it's basically, if you apply for this particular scholarship, you basically to just pick any country in Africa where you can go and study, or are there specific countries in Africa that you have to apply to? And the way Sylvia said that you're not supposed to apply to the current, to your country, but to a different program. Understand that is purposes of probably cross learning and to facilitate collaborations amongst African countries. But there are also specific programs that this scholarship wants people to apply to.
Okay. So to build on that, what she said. So actually, the scholarship is in two phase circles. Like they have first circle and second circle. So on the first circle, they have specific regions of countries they have in that circle, and also in second circle. So what I seem to understand is that majorly the major focus is just to encourage people from the low income country to apply. Okay. So and it's not like program, what's it called, specific, in sense that there are some university, let's say for instance, for example, in my own case, when I was applying, okay, in my own circle, because some university they have some quota every year to take in students. Okay, so in our case now, like currently, I don't think for university I attended now, I don't think they're taking students in this circle. Why? Because they have quota. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that each year is two circles, and each university have a number of students they can take in. So that's one. Two, the second case is a program. So let's say, for instance, maybe you want to study bioinformatics, for example, now, and you check all through the listed country for that circle, it's not listed in that program. So which means you have to wait for the next circle. Maybe perhaps the university may have that program in that. So majorly, this university have specific quota each year, and is in different circles. They have that. That what I that.
All right, thank you. So talking about the cycles of applications, do they get to highlight that on the website that you need to be intentional with the program that you want to apply to? And if you find your program is not listed on this first cycle, then you have to wait for the second cycle. I somehow thought that's why probably we're having this info session. I thought the first cycle that opens around November is the one that takes in more students, and this second one I thought probably it's just an extension of maybe let's add in more students who missed out on the first application. Yeah, Michael, do you have anything to add on to that? And whilst also responding to that, is it a full scholarship? Does it have limitations in terms of funding, or yeah, those kind of things in terms of finances? How does one engage or interact with the KEX program?
Okay. Yeah, I think just to share more light, I actually have a little presentation just to see, like, so are we able to kind of see these things and be able to just hold on.
You're trying to share, yeah?
Yeah, I'm trying to share my screen. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, MacBook is having a lot of issues. I'll try to join.
Is it that you're not able to share because of host permissions, or? Oh, Michael, are you still with us? No, I think we've lost Michael while he's trying to do that. So maybe I could come back to you, Sylvia. Um, so Coyote has explained about the first cycle and the second cycle. By chance, if can you explain first also please feel free to highlight if you are okay, we're having the screen here. Okay, this is lovely. So Sylvia, just a hold before I give it back to you.
Okay.
Perfect.
So, yeah, okay, all right. So this, I just want to explain a little bit about this scholarship program. Then, hopefully at the end of this program, at least maybe few people here will probably be selected for it because I'm trying to share more light and kind of explain everything about the program. These are just the outline, and I'll try to explain about what the scholarship about, uh, the countries and programs you can apply to for this circle, and how to apply it, and basically what the scholarship covers. So as we earlier discussed, the scholarship is targeted for master's program for citizens in low and middle income countries, Commonwealth countries. So it must be a Commonwealth country, not any country can apply. Then the is in two cycles, as we earlier mentioned. The second one opens in November, December. The second two opens in March and April. So it's a fully funded scholarship. As a matter of fact, they are going to pay you have an economic return ticket. That means you're going and coming from that country will be sponsored by the scholarship. Then usually they have once arrival allowance of 500 US dollar. Then they also pay your living expenses every 6 months. And also, as well, you can apply for research support grants. I think the maximum is around 3,000 US dollar. So that's it's upon your request, maybe after you submit your proposal, if accepted, they will send the money to the institution for your research program. And the major criteria for applying is just basically you have to submit your academic transcript and your employment record, and basically your CV, your resume. Then you have three major statements. Each of them has different word limit. So plan of study, development impact, and post study. That's like 300, 500 words. Then creating networks, because this scholarship it's majorly targeted to kind of exchange culture, like to learn about different people's culture and expand your network, basically, right? So you really want to know how you're going to do that. And it's also SDG focused, right? So they really want to know how you are going to impact your society, and also what problem are you trying to solve? Is this problem related to any of the SDG, right? So they take note of all that as well. Then for the plan of study, they want to know if you actually know what you want to study in that school. So usually for each circle, they give out a list of schools. Some of these schools have specific course you can apply to. You cannot just apply to any course in the institution, so you can apply to a specific course. So during my own time, yeah, I think there was no course was specified, so I could apply for any course, any program I want. That was one of the advantages, and that's why I chose here. And think for other countries, so they have a specific course. You cannot just apply to any course. I just want to emphasize on that. Then for the registration, so once you register, you submit probably you might decide to submit application to the school, because usually it's a separate application, and you might decide to submit immediately you submit your application for the scholarship, or after you kind of get approval, just to be on the safe side. So during my own time, I think I got the scholarship offer first before I applied for the school admission, just to save costs, right? So once you get the scholarship, you'll be onboarded, and basically you start preparing for your visa application, and the visa process will be handled by yourself, like by the applicant, and basically, and that's all for that. So maybe later on, if time permits, I'll show you some of the essays, how they are structured, and how you can adapt these to write yours for a successful application. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michael, for even preparing the PowerPoint slides. That was very thoughtful, and I'm truly grateful. Just to ask, for you, when you applied for the scholarship and you got the scholarship before the course was offered, was that on the first application cycle or the second application cycle, or it doesn't really matter?
I applied during first application cycle. It doesn't really matter actually. So because I think most of the for each of this cycle you have to target in this school we have two admission cycle. So some schools have just one admission cycle, right? So yeah, you can either apply for August or apply for March in any of these two semesters. So I think it's based on the school, right? So if I think we have a scenario where someone was offer admission, because I think what Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship, they make sure you use if approved, if you get the offer, you have to resume that same year. So if you don't resume that same year, I think they probably cancel the offer. It's part of the handbook. I can't remember vividly, but you just have to resume that same year. So yeah. So some students have to kind of, because the visa process sometimes to take a lot of time. So you need to apply on time, get approval and start your visa process on time, right? So it just depends on either way you want to do it. If you have, so it's not a sure thing to get the offer, right? So but the admission can be pretty easy for you. So it just depends, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. So Sylvia, back to you. Michael showed us the kind of things that we should expect during the application procedure. I just wanted to know, say somebody wanted to start the application today, how is that application cycle going to look like for them when they start applying today, they meet their deadline, when do they start hearing from the institution or the scholarship that they have received the offer and other next steps that they should do, and by what time one is probably going to start their program. For example, those who applied in November and those applying in this second round, do they all get to join this academic year for 2025, 2026, or do they start next academic year, that's 26, 27, or how does it just go about?
I think it all depends on the calendar of the university which you are applying to. So most likely for those that start their calendar in October or September, they'll be in one cycle. And also for those that start maybe in January, they'll be in one cycle. So it's the same academic year that you are applying to. It just depends on which university you are applying to and when it starts its semesters. So when you apply, I think on the website of Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship, they will tell you when you are likely to hear the results. I think they will tell you that maybe the first cycle you hear it in October, you hear the results in October, or the second cycle you hear this time. So that is stated. On the part of the university, these are two different applications. The scholarship application is another one, and the university application is also another one. So for the university, it will also depend on how they do their things there. So once you start your application now, you have started your application, you first have to go through the universities that are listed there. You see if there's a program that fits what you want, and then you have to look at the admission requirements, because you might not be eligible. So you have to look at the admission requirements at that particular university. Then if you meet the requirements, you can go ahead and apply the scholarship, and then you will go back to apply the admission later. It also, for them to get back to you, it will also depend on how they do their things. So you cannot really tell when the university will get back to you. It will depend on how they release their admissions. Others, they do it like when you apply, they can be releasing the results soon after you apply. For the others, they have to wait for the application period to close, and then that's when they release all the results for the admission. So yeah, that's the case.
Thank you. So from what I'm gathering is basically it's how the partnership between the KEX and do you guys call it KEX, or do you just pronounce it as Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship? Just before I proceed, Sylvia, do you guys call it KEX or?
Yeah, I guess I call it QECS. Of course,
QECS.
to pronounce.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I might be butchering your scholarship, and probably that's not how it is. So basically, from what I'm gathering, it depends with the partnership between the university and the scholarship, and it's independent with the scholarship. How these two operate, it's independent with every university and the terms and conditions. So it's not like the way when people apply for MasterCard scholarship, they know that by this time we're all going to receive our offers. By this time we're all going to proceed into visas applications, etc. Okay, that's great. So Kayode, Rahim, so probably you'd let us know what are the kind of mistakes that people tend to do when it comes to this kind of scholarship and its application procedures, or the things that you'd not really you'll tell people to avoid. Yeah.
Okay. So firstly, because the major core goal of this is the essay writing. Okay. So you need to be very, very careful in that aspect, because if you don't give them what they want, they will surely not pick you or select you. Okay. So what I do advise people that I've even mentored in time past, like, okay, before you kind of even start writing the essay, like, try to understand the school you are going to, right? One, and what course are you going for? Okay, what are you trying to use, or what are you trying to gain after you study the course, and how are you trying to utilize the knowledge back to your home country? Because these are the things that you are looking out for. So these are the kind of pitfalls people should avoid, because you can't just see generally that, okay, I want to go and study biology, and you don't know specific coursework done in that school, because you have to relate that to school, because they want to see that we have due diligence assignments, understanding the coursework in that school as well, and probably mention at least some professor or lecturer in that same school what he or she is doing, that you feel that if you apply to that program, you kind of get this knowledge, and this is how you're going to implement the knowledge back to your own country, because you have to tie it back to your own country. That's the major goal of this scholarship. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So in terms of, I know there's the essays that Michael had highlighted, which are so many short essays. How do the referees get attached to this kind of application? Do they send separate invitations to the referees, or people have to attach their referee letters? Just over to you, Kayode, still.
Okay. So I think doing my own, I don't know, maybe it's a chain, but it's not like a base of sending a link to your lecturer to referee to send. No. Doing the application, you have to upload that as well, along with when you're submitting your applications. So it's different from the normal way we know that you send an invite or to your referee to send your letter through a link. No. But in this case, it has to be uploaded while you are submitting your application.
Okay, perfect. So that means by the time one is submitting the application, they have everything at hand.
Yeah.
So that means it will be up to them to keep following up with the referees so that they ensure that before the deadline, they're able to submit the application with all the requirements. So over to you, Michael. You talked about you might want to display some of the essays that you had put and some of the things that, or the structure that people should have in the essays. I believe people here will be really interested to see how that looks like. So if you have a chance, please go ahead.
Okay. Also, can you see my screen now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So for the first question, for the first essay, this has to do with plan of study. So basically, it's just within 200, 400 words. You just kind of state clearly, like, what do you want to study? What school are you going to? And basically your interest in it and what kind of impact you can. I think it's very important that you make an example of what's going on in your field and how can you use this particular method to probably bring about solution or impact to other people's life, right? So yeah, I made mention of the Human Genome Project and the kind of data, enormous data we can use to analyze and probably provide insight into diseases and stuff. So apart from that, I also clearly state my future career plans, right? So you need to state that as well. Then at least you need to kind of clearly state some little stuff about the school. So yeah, I mean mention about the rank about the school and the kind of faculty they have, right? So you need to include all this in your essay. Then finally, you need a very good closing remark, and maybe you can use some of these, right? So then for the second one, it's about development impacts on post-study outreach. So yeah, they just want to kind of let you know, like you need to describe one challenge in your country you want to solve. How do you intend to contribute to this field? How will your proposed study help you to contribute towards a solution to this challenge? So, and what skill do you expect to gain from this scholarship? So, here you need to clearly mention one challenge you have in your country. So, since I'm trying to go for bioinformatics, I just decided to kind of talk about the most common disease, infectious disease in Nigeria. Then I also that because I also try to address this and how my proposed study and my course of work will probably solve this particular situation and what are these kind of skills I need. So the questions here are very, very simple and straightforward. You just need to go ahead and ask on them. So I think most of the thing is I relate this to my experience, to my internship experience, right? So I did an internship in an institute for human virology back in Nigeria. So I clearly explain how the skill I learned I gained from there will help me to navigate this program, right? So then others here work related to SDG goals. So this is a very short essay. You just need to kind of clarify what kind of basically bioinformatics. I'm trying to provide good healthcare and well-being and innovation and infrastructure and reduce inequalities. So I just try to break it down and try to explain what are the things I need to do, right? So, and the next one is creating network because this scholarship provides an opportunity to embrace new cultures and learn from different perspectives, different languages, and different food. So you just need to explain uh, how you are going to develop your professional networks. And yeah, because I think most of the time they send us, we need to send 6 months progress reports. So they normally ask us this question. And so I think it's very important you pay attention to this. And they just want to know what kind of work experience you're volunteering. Are you involved in any external, I mean, any activities apart from academics? And how do you intend to build your network and connections to achieve something, right? So I clearly define my what's it called, my hobby and kind of clubs I joined while I was in secondary school, Jet Club, Journal Club, just to kind of where I build my connections as well. So these are just the little things, and I think that's all for this. So
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you
sorry
so
for rushing
much.
it. I don't, I think I just want to explain about it, but not to give her the old time. I mean, the old things for
Yeah,
plagiarism,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Of course, of course. In fact,
Mhm.
thank you so much for sharing. Another circumstances, somebody will just be reading and
Yeah.
will highlight some of the key things that people would want to listen to. Kayode, um, I don't know, do you prefer being called Rahim or Kayode? Yeah,
That is fine. Yeah. That is
Coyote
fine.
is fine. Yeah. So we have seen how Michael's statements were drafted and some of the key things that he highlighted. Are there any ones in particular, Silva, you also come in and respond to this one, the kind of things that you were very keen to not leave out in your essays and the things that you'd advise other people not to leave out in their essays and how they can, okay. It's okay. And
My
yeah.
light, this kind of my working place had a kind of regulator time frame for the light. So that's when it went off. Sorry for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I almost asked if you're in South Africa and load shedding. Just kidding. Yeah, so the kind of
Yeah.
things that you'd want people to heavily consider in their essays, Silva, you probably also give the same response.
Yeah. So based on what I keep on telling people, okay. So like the way it's structured is I highlighted some key points which I'm going to reiterate. Like firstly, based on the study plan, you tell them about the course you are going for, right? So you don't just mention it, right? You have to tell them what you intend of gaining. Cite examples, for instance. So these are kind of detailed essay that will make you stand out compared to other people writing generic one. Okay, if you see what he highlighted as I'm just referring to his now, to his example he gave. Okay, so it's easy to write in the sense that you know the course you are going for. Try to make sure you know specific example to ally to that. What you intend of gaining from that course. That's one. Two, what other thing I do tell people is that try to do your assignment as well. Go to university, know about that university in terms of their ranking. That's one. The other point I can also mention is particularly mention a specific name of a lecturer if you can. It might help. And why? How do you think it's related to your work in that field of interest? That's two. Third point, because it's more like a community based scholarship because they want you to see you engage in a lot of communities. So try to check as well in the schools what are available society you feel you can join and how that can also help you in your call of study there in that country. Take for example now because while I was there, so there's opportunity for you to engage in community, like how we can able to volunteers. So these are the things they want to see you writing in that point. Okay, so that being said, now let me go back to the aspect of the SDG. So you have to be in kind of relation to that. What particular SDG is your program related to? You do just measure it, right? Measure it and give cite an example to that because I love, the way they see it because when they see you giving us and they know that, oh, this he or she know what he or she is doing. Okay, you say you are going for so particular course A. How do you think that's related to SG? And how do you think can also bring like the expertise of you learning from that course of your study? You want to relate it back. Cite examples. Give a specific of a problem. Don't just measure it. Give an instance to that. I think, I think that should be. So with this now, and that should, and also don't forget your grammatical. So because this is one of the core things people also make sure your writing is well coincide and straight to the point because and don't go outside the number of the word they give because the very very strict in that aspect too. So pay attention to those keywords, pay attention to those number of word length as well. So make sure you don't go outside of it. Yeah.
Thank you. Just before Sylvia comes in relation to the number of words, I'm assuming this application, of course, it has to be through the application portal of QECS. Does it highlight when you reach maximum, or it's just there? If you decide to put 1,000 words, that's up to you. Or because there are other platforms that are very keen.
Yeah, I think that is a kind of box input text, right? So I think if you go beyond that, it will not allow you. I think there's be a kind of highlighted out. This was I see the maximum word needed.
Okay. But for people to be very keen with that, because some applications would tell you that they need this amount of words, but then they'll leave it to you to be wise on if you decide to be strict or to do whatever you choose to use. Yeah. Sylvia, to you.
All right. I think the most important thing that I can advise applicants is consistency. You don't have to show that you can solve all the problems with just one degree. That's not possible. You have to choose a particular problem that you want to solve and then put more weight on it. Because once you just mention so many things, it shows that you really don't know what you want to do. So you need to focus on a particular problem related to the program that you are doing. And in that way, you also need to relate it to personal experiences. I feel it adds more weight when you relate it to something that has happened to you, or something you have experienced in your work, or something that you have experienced growing up, or something that is more personal to you. So I feel in that way, it gives a competitive advantage rather than just writing things that are generic. Yeah, I think that's what I can add.
Yeah, talking about writing things that are generic, would you advise people to use ChatGPT to draft their responses so that the process is easier, to just, apply it for this QCS in like, I don't know, 10 minutes or 15 minutes and done and dusted? Yeah, what are the repercussions?
No, I don't think using ChatGPT is a good idea, and I'm not so sure if they check for AI, if they detect for AI writing. I'm not so sure, but I just feel it's not a good idea, because it's not something that is specific, something that is different, because you need to be different. You need to be different. You need to know what you want. You need to be able to express in detail what you want to solve, what you want to achieve. So ChatGPT is not a good idea.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, people by now should know that using ChatGPT is really not a good idea unless maybe you're trying to, I don't know, strengthen your English in the words that you're using. But I think one of the things that puts people's application to be outstanding is the fact that we can feel your personal presence, your personal experiences, and you being genuine with the reason why you applied for that program. I know at this point, as an adult, you're not just applying for the sake of, moving out to a different country, but for the sake of your future career goals and not being too personal, but also for the sake of supporting people, planet, and prosperity. So the way they have, the panelists here have focused heavily on the SDGs, I'm pretty sure even probably in your countries, there are some of those agendas that your country would want to push forward and being strategic in application by highlighting that as much as the world challenges, which most of them are governed by the Sustainable Development Goals, but there are those also inbound, challenges that your country is facing. For example, during my time when I was applying, I applied to a course in environmental change and management, which I really wanted to relate how matters of climate affect people and planet in the longer run. So what I did was I was very intentional that I know that in the SDGs we have the SDG that's on climate action and we have the SDGs that support equalities and all that stuff. But I also realized that back in my country we also have by then we had the big four agendas, which basically these were the agendas that the government had put in place to ensure that our country was going to move in a way that these four things that was I think was on health, housing were not left out. So also trying to be very strategic, the fact that you know that you're applying for this cause to, of course, for your career goals, but also to support your country whilst also supporting the continent at large. Um, I believe just like Mastercard Foundation, the fact that this scholarship is mostly for countries in the developing areas, which they are actually not so many. I don't believe it's all universities, but just go through the website, which I've already shared the link on the chat. Um, have lost my trail of thoughts, but yeah, you have to be strategic with the same way that Mastercard. I'm sorry that I'm being biased because I'm a Mastercard Foundation scholar. They are very keen on seeing that you are our leader and you understand the challenges that you're experiencing in your country, and you're not going to be too selfish with yourself, but also to come up with, upcoming solutions that will support the continent at large. That's why I believe the QCS is there. So in terms of, I had a question. In terms of requirements such as English, and first, I would like to understand, do we have to do English test the way overseas students have to do, in my case, in the UK? Or what is the criteria? Because I know in Africa we have the Anglophones and the Francophones, so do they put that into consideration? Then two, I haven't really had any of you mentioning that at some point you have to go through an interview, or is it a sure bet that once you have submitted your essays, if they like you, that's it. If you apply to the university, if they like you, no interview, that's it. Michael, maybe you could respond to that.
Yeah, so sorry, I didn't mention that. You don't. Also, once you submit it, I think the only thing you need to expect from them is the offer letter. So no interview whatsoever. So
That's
so you
very
have to put, yeah.
yeah.
So you have to make sure you put your best out there because you don't have any other choice or any other platform to kind of sell yourself to them. So the other question you mentioned was
English.
English, yeah. So I think it depends on the school you're applying for. So for the admission, but I don't think the scholarship specifically states up the requirements for that examination. So for IELTS. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, understand. And just before I open the questions to the floor, well, does the scholarship also have like a community that you guys have to meet probably at some point in a certain country? Or once you're given the scholarship, once you're given the program, it's everybody for themselves? Does it have a community?
Yeah, it depends on the country. So luckily for me, we have a WhatsApp group where we just discuss or share stuff. But apart from that, I think once you just here in Malaysia, I have like 3 other applicants, I mean recipients. So luckily we are two in this university. So we just kind of meet up sometimes. So whenever we are free, we do meet up. But apart from that, I don't think there's a general meeting apart from the WhatsApp group.
Okay. So do you have anything to add onto that, or no, nothing? Okay, I think those are the questions that I had from my end, unless Kayode, Sylvia, Michael, you have anything to say before I open the floor for people to ask their own questions? Is there anything that you feel like we haven't tackled or something that you'd want people to know? No.
No.
Okay, so there's a question in the chat. So Nelson says they completed the bachelor's in Kenya. Is the degree certificate a requirement to apply for masters because they're yet to graduate till December? Kayode?
Okay. So to this person, I would advise to kind of reach out to the school, because the scholarship itself don't really kind of say, like, because what they need from you, either your bachelor, yeah. So to this person, to gain the admission to the school, you can reach out to the school and find out, or check their website, the requirement they need. So if there's no clarity on that questions, like he or she can just email the school and get more answers to that.
And when you say the school, does it mean that the school that they are about to graduate, or the school that they would want to apply to, or the scholarship in particular?
Okay, so to the school you want to apply to, so because it's about to graduate, right? So I think either statement of purpose, sorry, how would they call it? The kind of result they will give, like a transcript, even though the certificate is not there ready. So I think he or she can use to apply for that. But pay attention to that. You will need that the original certificate for it to kind of enroll to the school, because that will be needed. Yeah.
Thank you. So I think that's something that Nelson, you have to follow up with the application support. And Austin, you have a question. You can unmute and ask. Austin, you're still muted.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, of course. Please go ahead.
All right, fine. My name is Austin Blessings. I'm doing business administration here at Komen University of Science and Technology. I'm from Malawi. So, in case I need something from you, I wanted to know if the scholarship, if it really considers about the academic background, be it the first class student, are they having an added advantage, or it's open to every graduate? Thank you.
Yeah, would Sylvia want to answer that question?
If I got your question right, you are asking if you can apply before having your degree.
Austin?
No. Oh, no, my question is about a first class student, a second class student, or just having a pass as a degree. Which one is having a very high chance of getting a scholarship, or is just open to everyone? They just consider the ACEs, or do they also consider about the academic background? That's the question.
They actually specify that you need to have a 2-to-1. I think that's a second class, at least a second class. Yeah. Website.
All right, thank you. Another question I wanted to know about the visa. I think you talked about the visa, but I came a bit late. The details about it, I got it when you were about to end. So I wanted to know, suppose one gets the admission, okay, or maybe gets the scholarship offer, then you're about to travel to the country where you're going to study about, your master's. So the visa process, is it on your own? Or the process is done by yourself, that is the cost for the visa? Or this scholarship helps?
Actually, you have to do it on your own. They say that the arrival allowance that you can do later on is meant for you to cover those costs. But you do it on your own. You will get contact with have that award. The KS team will link you with your university, your host university, and then from then they can help you process the visa and everything. But for the cost, you have to pay it yourself.
Okay, then now that makes me wonder also. But Michael had already addressed that for the flights, it's catered for. So that means it's a full scholarship apart from the pre-requirement, that is the visa and any medical test that might be required. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then there's this question here on the chat that says, is it possible to get an undergraduate bachelor in medicine and surgery? They're from Kenya. They've completed with grade plus A diploma in clinical medicine, and looking for somebody to get them on that course, an entrance exam. But so I think this one it's straightforward. For the QACS scholarship, it's basically for master's program, either 1 year or 2 years, from what I've gathered. So I don't believe that they do fund undergraduate degrees. Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That's
Yeah. So for this particular scholarship, you have to have done your bachelor's and you're aiming to do a master's degree. On the link that I've shared, there's so many links that I've shared here. I've shared the QCS official website, then LinkedIn profiles of our speakers, and in some other WhatsApp group. But I believe from the website, you'll be able to see some of the requirements that you need to meet, or the eligibility criteria that you have to follow before applying for this scholarship, so that it doesn't have, you don't have to waste your time applying for something that from the word go you do not qualify just because you're yet to meet one important factor. So do we have any questions as of now? Okay. Well, any more questions? All right, I think we don't. So guys, feel free to interact yourself with the links that I've shared, and reach out to our speakers on the LinkedIn if you have any questions that probably you'll think of later or during the application process, because the deadline is in about a month's time, about 4 weeks. Yeah, so I wish you all the very best. Mine is just to emphasize that just like any other scholarship, as much as this one, you'll not have to do any interviews involved, but I think every scholarship application requires dedication and time, and for you to do your thorough research before making the submission. So those are the things that you need to focus on, and the things that Michael, Sylvia, and Coyote have highlighted on not leaving out in your essays, for example, talking about your personal experiences, giving in concrete examples of the things that you have done in terms of your leadership expertise, in terms of, what to look forward to when you go to those certain universities, showing them that you're actually aware of some of the research that's been done in that field that you're going to. If you have a name, you can throw it. I mean, that's still all okay. So I will be able to upload this info session on the YouTube, which is also still on the link that I've shared for those who joined a little bit late. And also there's a WhatsApp group still on the same links that I shared for you to join and get updates on any other scholarships, or also interact with other candidates who are planning to apply for several scholarships, and where you can basically give each other mentor support. That was the whole idea of this WhatsApp group. So Edna says she understands that Rahim is pursuing PhD. Is the QECS offer support to this level as well? Basically, do they support your PhD as well? You're muted. Just gonna. So
Can you hear me now?
yeah, and I can.
Okay, so to that it's only for masters. Okay, so my PhD is differently because I currently do my PhD in US now, so it's a different application entirely. So it's not being sponsored by QC at all. Yeah.
Okay, so on matters of PhDs and how Coyote got himself to the USA, I think you can just ask him through his LinkedIn. Yeah, but for this particular scholarship, it's strictly just for masters, either 1 year or 2 years. So I think that's it. Do we have any last words, Sylvia, you would want to say?
Well, I'll just encourage you all to apply. It's a good experience. You get to experience a different environment. You get to know new people. You get to know new things, new ways of doing things. So it's a very good experience. And the SCU is very supportive. They'll be with you throughout the award and everything. They'll check up on you and everything. So yeah, go ahead and apply.
Did you say the SCU?
Okay, I meant the Association of Commonwealth Universities.
Okay.
So it's under the Association of Commonwealth Universities.
Okay. Thank you. Kai, did you have any last words?
Yeah, just to I would encourage people to apply, because in my own case then, I thought I couldn't apply. So I even submitted my application at the last day, a minute to the last hours for the deadline. So if I didn't submit, who knows, I will not get it. So I will encourage everyone to apply as well, and make sure you put in your best. Yeah. So it's a good scholarship as well. So as we said, so it's fully funded. You get it good, because the major call of it is having this exposure and really work out well. Because like my own instance, so I really learn a lot of things from different culture as well. So, and the community, like the QEC scholarship, they have this kind of family-oriented kind of stuff. Like they try to check on what she said. So they want their students to be in a good end shape. So they did that most of the time. So, I will encourage everyone to just submit the application. Canada can tell, so you'll be selected as well. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you. And Michael, finally to you. Do you have any last words before I wrap this up?
Yeah, I think they've said everything. So we just need to, what I would just say is it's a very good scholarship to kind of kick off without spending much money. Since everything is fully funded, and you'll be exposed to a lot of things that will probably help you in your PhD scholarship or things like that. So and majorly you also network with people, right? So network with people from different regions. So I know like 3 people or more. They were recipients of the scholarship, and I think most of them are in the US right now because of what the scholarship offered to them, right? So it just give you the leverage to grow and to move on ahead to a greater career path. So yeah, so I will encourage everyone to apply.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Also, what I've noted is from all of you 3 speakers, it's just you, Michael, who went to outside Africa. Yeah, but there's a criteria for those universities and the universities that are listed under ACU, so people should also just go through that. So for me, it's basically to thank all of you 3 speakers for accepting to my invite and for dedicating your time today to just come and support the community in understanding how the scholarship is. And I believe that it's going to be helpful for them, at least for those who had no idea of the things that they needed to consider. Probably now they have an idea of how to even make that first step into making the application. So yeah, thank you very much, and all the very best in applications and any other applications that you aim to apply, so as you're able to get your master's opportunity. For the undergrad opportunities, I will look forward to hosting opportunities that are specific to applying to undergrads, but my major aim for all of this was basically to just support postgrad studies. But on the side, I can support you in understanding how that whole process is. So thank you very much, Sylvia, Michael, Kayode, and all the people who attended here today. Bye and best wishes. Thank you.
Ayer te vi solita, esa carita bonita, diablo que mamacita. Estás provocándome aunque lo haces sin querer. Ya por ti pregunté y hace más de un mes te dejaste con el bobo aquel. Qué hueputa gana tengo de besarte. Te vi en una foto y te imaginas sin ropa. Te mentiría si no estoy loca por verte. Con ese jeansito como te ves de culona.
Qué hueputa gana tengo de besarte. Te vi en una foto y te imaginas sin ropa. Te mentiría si no estoy loco por darte. Con ese jeansito como te ves de culona.
Nos vamos de guayeteo, fumeteo en la disco mero perreo. Te pusiste mini falda pa' ver si yo te ateo. Un besito pa' sentir ese goteo. Y prendí la cámara pa' grabarte un video.
No te voy a mentir, no para imaginarme tu culo en tanga. Ponte mi espalda hasta que el sol salga. Te ponga caliente y todo el cuerpo arda, arda. Te ponga caliente como la arena. Y ese culito blanco el sol te lo ponga moreno. No tiene grandote por el entreno. Empieza el toque, toque, moja esta flow sereno. Te ponga caliente como la arena. Y ese culito blanco el sol te lo ponga moreno. No tiene grandote por el entreno. Empieza ese toque, toque. Hijo de puta gana tengo de besarte. Te vi en una foto y te imaginé sin ropa. Te mentiría si no estoy loco por darte. Con ese jeansito como te ves de culona.
Qué hueputas ganas tengo de besarte. Te vi en una foto y te imaginé sin ropa. Te mentiría si no estoy loca por verte. Con ese jeansito como te ves de culona.
Ayer te vi solita, esa carita bonita, diablo que mamacita.
Estás provocándome aunque lo haces sin querer. Ya por ti pregunté y hace más de un mes te dejaste con el bobote. Qué hueputas ganas tengo de besarte. Te mentiría si no estoy loca por verte.
Culona.
Dile que bailando te conocí. Cuéntale, dile que esta noche me quieres ver. Cuéntale, cuéntale que beso mejor que él. Cuéntale, dile que esta noche tú me vas a ver. Cuéntale, cuéntale que te conocí bailando. Cuéntale que soy mejor que él. Cuéntale que te traigo loca. Cuéntale que no lo quieres ver. Cuéntale que te conocí bailando. Cuéntale que soy mejor que él. Cuéntale que te traigo loca. Cuéntale que no lo quieres ver. Que quizá fue la noche en la que te traicionó. Fue el perfume de mi piel lo que te cautivó. Que ya no tiene excusa para tu traición. Que tuviste mil motivos que entre en razón. Que quizás te habla al oído como ya él no. O que mierda el fuego de la pasión. Ya no le mientas más y admite tu error. Y si por mí no pidas perdón, digo, queda de ti el que lo perdone. El que lo olvide o lo abandone. Porque con llorar no se compone. Entonces a mí dame otra noche. Otra, otra noche, otra. Ay, que yo no te bote. Otra noche, otra. Aunque tú vuelvas con él. Otra noche, otra. Cuéntale, cuéntale. Otra noche, otra. Que beso mejor que él. Otra noche, otra. Cuéntale, cuéntale. Otra noche, otra. Cuéntale que te conocí bailando. Cuéntale que soy mejor que él. Cuéntale que te traigo loca. Cuéntale que tú me quieres ver. Cuéntale que te conocí bailando. Cuéntale que soy mejor que él. Cuéntale que te traigo loca. Cuéntale que tú me quieres ver. Que quizá fue la noche en la que te traicionó. Fue el perfume de mi piel lo que te cautivó. Que ya no tiene excusa para tu traición. Que tuviste mil motivos que entre en razón.